Hi, today we are going to present about Cellebrite Guardian. So here you are looking at Cellebrite Guardian login splash screen, where today we will be discussing and presenting the portion of case management. So for the case management system that you are looking at right now, right? Uh, in this presentation, we will be engaging two other servers. First server that you'll be looking at will be on the file share. So for the file share itself, right? Currently, you are seeing some of the demo case that I've previously automated. Uh, please be reminded the file share that I will be doing referencing in the further part of the demo uh, in, in a short while. The other server that will be involved in this demonstration will be our Pathfinder Enterprise. So as a part of the automation, during the creation of an operation, a case name that are similar with the operation name will then be created within the Pathfinder, which I will also be referencing at the later part of this demo video. So first of all, let's go into the template for today. So in the settings itself, we have workflow templates. And for the workflow templates, of course, we can do sorting by the creation date. These are some of the templates that we will be using for today demo. So first of all, it will be on operation creation. Basically, what you will be seeing will be the automation process upon creation of an operation within Guardian. It will then trigger automated scripts to then create a Pathfinder case with the same name, and of course user assignment and include which includes of image and video categorizations. So this operation creation will be able to show the detailed process once this automation path kicks in. Next, of course, we will be using other template as well. So within this template, we are also using the portion where on exhibit creation. So upon on exhibit creation itself, we will have automated questions. As you can see, these are the workflow blocks that when we do a joint workflow, it will call out different workflow at required processes. So back to the main workflow that we will be utilizing for today's demo, that will be mobile abstractions. So upon mobile abstractions, that means if you are able to visualize right now, after creating the operation and of course during the creation of operation, the same case name will then be created in the Pathfinder. And upon creation of the exhibit itself, the exhibit will have some automated questions where you will then be able to add the workflow of these uh, these detailed steps where you add the equipments and there will be some questions. Those questions will be shown in the later part of the demo. And upon answering and of course filling in the required chain of custody information required by the SOP, then you will then be translated into a process then which will requires to call out another workflow process highlighted in the yellow color right here, which is the automated UFDR extractions. So on the automated UFDR extractions, you'll be able to see that once I call out this UFDR extractions, it will engage a PA processing engine, which it will then read the uploaded UFD file into the repository, which resides in the repository, and of course run the PA engine, the regression maker, converting the UFD into a UFDR files, and this will again call out another workflow which will notify the case owner or the exhibit owner that the UFDR have been processed. The notification will be sent via email to the analyst or the investigation officer that are the case owner, so that when they are on site, they will be able to receive emails or even SMS notification that once they get back to the station, they will be able to extract or review the UFDR files. So in this portion right now, we have already covered the workflow templates. So let's just get back to the main dashboard of Guardian. So on the case management portion over here, we will go into the case management options, and you will be presented a dashboard of the current open case, number of exhibits, etc., etc. So what are we doing right now is to add an operation on the top right hand corner, and you'll be able to key in the name of the operation. So perhaps I can key in Guardian demonstrations. And the crime type, I can choose, of course, this can be further defined if you require additional details. Of course, it's highly customizable in Cellebrite Guardian. I can put in the offense of these operations, and of course the reference number. For for example, today will be I can key in the date for today, 21st of July 2020, and of course select the information that is under Cellebrite, and the investigation team is under the forensic department. On this portion itself, I will be able to click save, or otherwise I can add in the investigation team. So if I will choose to add in existing user, the system itself allows LDAP connections, or otherwise you will be able to create internal users. That means users that are not connected to your Active Directory but exist only locally within the Guardian platform. So I can search for Jason here, and of course check Jason's and assign that he is actually a investigator, and which person type he belongs to. So now the investigation teams contains of Jason. Next, I can then save and assign to. Perhaps I can put this as Jason, or perhaps other team members that are involved in this operation. Once I click create, the operation will then be created. And if you actually take a look over here right now, right, if you go into the workflow on the bottom left hand corner over here, you will be able to see that some of the tasks are already in progress. So from what I have shown in the earlier slides, in this video, you can see that the on operation creation has been completed. So over here, right, we can actually check on the output where it creates a, series of folders in the file repository, which also on the second automation portion creates a case name within Pathfinder. So to verify this, we can actually go into the Pathfinder and perhaps do a refresh of the system. As you can see, Guardian demo uh, demonstration is now created here. But currently for Guardian demonstration system, there are no UFDR being inserted into this case. So that's the first part of the creation of process. Next, we can actually go back to the Guardian demonstration systems. And currently we do not have any exhibits. Over here right now, I can then proceed on to create an exhibit, which will then be added to the case. On this portion itself, I can key in the reference number, perhaps 001 001 and 2020 001. Okay, that's the part of a reference number, for example. And under the exhibit category, I'll be able to choose digital forensics or other type of category. And with the exhibit type, I can select maybe mobile phone, whether is it an Android, iPhone, or others. Perhaps if it's a BlackBerry or other type of phones that are actually not on Android or iOS platform. For this instance and this demo, we will create Android itself. And for the description, as you can see, there's no green color boxes surrounding the input field. Therefore, it is deemed not mandatory. So on the flags itself, we can also not to choose anything. And for the date from the date sees, perhaps depends if there is a exhibit seizure form or otherwise the log sheets that you can reference to and point to the exhibit Cs and the time that you can enter in, so on and so forth. And who actually sees the system, sees this particular exhibit. Perhaps I can put in Joe Percy. Upon keying this item, then we, as you can see, recovered from, we will need to key in the information. And as I've mentioned earlier on, Guardian is a is the highly customizable systems, where you will be able to then key in stuff that requires according to the local law requirements or the federal law requirements. Okay, then I can put this status as awaiting examination. Seal, perhaps this will be the seal for today. Okay, and for the metadata, if you need to key in any of the mobile phone details over here, perhaps we will just key in Samsung, then S10, serial number 567, IMEI number, then contain SIM, yes. Contain SD card, no. So on and so forth. As I've mentioned, these fields are highly customizable. If you think that some of the information you need it to be mandatory, you can also configure within Guardian to make sure that things do not get left off by the case administrator. And so that's it. I have already created my exhibit. Click on Save. And now the exhibit are created. So over here, right, currently you can see that the exhibit is 001, 001, 2020, 001. And if I actually go back into my file share folder, you can see that Guardian demonstrations have been created. And within this operation itself, these folders are also automated and created. So in the export folder, and of course the exhibit information, right? You can see that I've already created a new exhibit that is 001 001 2020 001. Okay, and so this will be the information, and the next step that I will proceed on is to add the more actions, go into a workflow and assign a workflow to this template. Over here right now, we are going into mobile abstractions. So I can select mobile abstractions and start. Upon starting the process right now, right, I can choose what type of hardware I'm using for the imaging. For example, the laptop serial number that hosts the 4PC, or the touch tool serial number that will be used for abstractions. And what are the software version used for imaging, whether is it the latest or perhaps a couple of versions earlier. So upon choosing all these asset and of course the version number, I can then press submit. So this will be the series of questions that I've shown to you earlier on the workflow process, the waterfall workflow, whether if the device is damaged, yes or no, submit, and type of abstractions. For example, if this is a Samsung S10, so is full file system supported? Yes. If it's the physical root show, no. Physical with log bypass, no. Logical, no. Partial file system, yes. Advanced logical, yes. So in some countries and state itself, right, they might need this to be as a part of documentation in their own process flow. But of course, as I've mentioned, if you think that this process right now is not required, we can then take it out. Next, upon successful extractions, right? Then we are able to choose that, okay, if these extractions are being done via file system, yes, and of course the rest not applicable. So you need to perhaps pay attention right now, right, that the file share now we need to have a forensic image uploaded to this exhibit. Okay, so upon this process right now, right, I will need to switch back to a repository where I have already backup extractions, just like a cooking show, because right now I'm remoting into a file repository. Uploading it via the Ethernet right now, right, might be very slow. So I can go into the Guardian demonstrations, exhibit, and of course make sure that the path is correct. It will be in forensic images. So in forensic images, I will just pump the abstractions in. And over here, you can see that this is the UFD file. So we will need to make sure that the full path over here under under forensic images, there's this file system Android backup 01 to make sure that the UFD file is according to what uh, the system will be picking up later. So over here, you can see that there's a slash UFD. So we'll just append here that is under the file system. Okay, to highlight it in detail, slash, and the dump file name. Okay, so this is the UNC path for the evidence collections here. And of course, then we will be able to submit. Any modification required? Yes, of course, because I need to turn on the developer mode for the abstractions, etc., etc. So then I'll proceed on to submit. So on the next portion itself, right, then I will need to make sure that, okay, I've enabled secure boot and all those, set the screen timeout. Yeah, and after that, add um, USB debugging, and what are the items that I need to do. Okay, if there's nothing, then I can just submit. So now, whether did I have a chance to restore it back? No, I won't be able to restore back, because for USB debugging mode and all those developer mode, once you turn it on, there's no possibility to turn back to original settings. So I can key in the items here. Then after that, I can move on to the last step, which is automatically convert. Yes, and after that, submit. This will then point me to the next workflow. So when I click the buttons over here right now, the next UFDR option, you can see that now the process of automatic UFDR extractions are taking place. The one that I've referenced, that the yellow color workflow, that you will start the PA decoding engine to convert the UFD to a UFDR. So what you are seeing right now, right, is that it is reading the UFDR from the file repository that I've shared with you earlier on. So what you'll be seeing right now, right, is that is processing this file, the LG G3 UFD file, and upon the creation itself, right, once we go into the Guardian demonstration on the export portion, later on you'll be seeing information that the UFDR has been created. So it will take a while, just like when you are saving a report of a physical analyzer. So this conversion is currently doing live right now, and you will be able to see the process. So if you have multiple UFD files, of course, we are able to process the information as well. So now you can see that the conversion process has completed. So we can take a look at the output. Okay, so the output right now, right, is that it has created into an export folder, and we can verify by going back into the file share under the export folder itself. Yep, just now, if you actually go back a couple of frames earlier on, there was not any folders being created. So now the UFDR files has been created right here. And of course, when we actually go back into the process right now, it asks me to go into the next workflow of notifying the case and exhibit owner, where this portion right now, because I have not keyed in the email address. Therefore, the output right now is that the recipient email address are not provided. So if I have key in the recipient, that means, for example, joe.percy@cellebrite.com, then it will send out an email notifying Joe that this UFDR conversion process is successful, and it's ready for your review. Okay, so at this point of moment, right, Celebrite Guardian have already done all of the automation process, which then it brings us back to the Pathfinder. And you can see that the Pathfinder automatically, based on the scheduler, it picks up the UFDR that are located within the Guardian demonstration case folder, and process all the categorization automatically. So as you can see right now, the process I did not actually key in any manual process. The system picks the UFDR up and process accordingly. So if I actually do a refresh over here right now, I'll be able to see that one UFDR has been processed and successful. So if I go into the Guardian demonstration right now, it will let me take a look at which are the extractions. So if I actually mouse over, you will be able to see that this extraction that are being processed is located in the export folder, and the exhibit name is 001 001 2020-001, and the converted UFDR based on the Guardian automated process. So there you are, the whole end-to-end process of creation of a case from the Guardian systems, and the automation where it will then create a case name within Pathfinder. Then upon the creation of exhibit within the Guardian itself, then we will be able to assign a workflow to the particular exhibit. And once the extractions are being done, we will then be able to process according to the workflow, do the automatic UFD to UFDR conversion. And once the UFDR are being converted to the particular folders, then an email notification will be sent to the exhibit owner or the case owner, followed by an internal process where Pathfinder will be will have a scheduler that picks up automatically on the processed UFDR files and categorizing it into the Pathfinder. Where once the investigator or the case owner log on to the Pathfinder itself, then they can start their investigation or analysis work on there. So that's all, and I hope you have a good day.